Most people skip straight to investing. These 5 steps change everything. Investing is everywhere right now. Social media, conversations, headlines, apps that let you buy fractional shares with a few pounds have made it more accessible than at any point in history, and that's genuinely a good thing. But it's also created a wave of people jumping in before the foundations underneath them are solid, and then wondering why it's not working the way they expected. Investing on an unstable financial foundation is like planting seeds in concrete. The conditions are wrong regardless of how good the seeds are. Today, we're covering the 5 things that need to be in place before you make your first investment. Get these right and everything that follows works significantly better.
The first thing you need before investing is an emergency fund, and this isn't negotiable regardless of how exciting an opportunity looks. Your emergency fund is what lets your investments stay invested. Investments grow through compound returns over time, but that only works if you don't have to sell when the market's down. Without an emergency fund, the first unexpected cost forces you to liquidate investments, possibly at a significant loss, just to cover an immediate expense. With a fund in place, you can leave your investments alone through market volatility and through life events. The fund isn't competing with your investments, it's protecting them.
The second thing is clearing high-interest debt, specifically anything charging more than 10%. This is a maths argument. If your credit card charges 22% interest and you invest in an index fund instead of paying it off, that fund needs to consistently return more than 22% to come out ahead. The long-term historical average of broad market index funds is around 7 to 10% a year. A credit card at 22% is costing you more than your investments are likely to earn. Every pound of high-interest debt you carry is actively working against your wealth-building goals. Clear it first. Then invest from a position of actual strength.
Third, learn the basics before you buy anything. Not a finance degree, not everything, but you should be able to answer 5 questions before your first investment. What's a stock? What's a fund? What's an index fund, and why do most investors use them? What do fees do to your returns over decades? And what does diversification mean in practice? 30 minutes of watching simple explainer videos covers all of this. Several of our upcoming videos on this channel cover it too. 30 minutes of education can prevent years of costly mistakes. That's probably the best return on time available to a beginning investor.
Fourth, open the right account before you put money anywhere. This is the step that costs people the most in avoidable tax over a lifetime, and it's also one of the simplest to get right. In the UK, every adult gets a £20,000 annual ISA allowance. Money invested inside a stocks and shares ISA grows completely free of capital gains tax and income tax on dividends. In the US, a Roth IRA lets after-tax money grow and be withdrawn tax-free in retirement. In Canada, a TFSA works the same way. These accounts don't change what you invest in. You can hold exactly the same index funds inside them. They just shelter your gains from tax. Over 20 or 30 years, the difference that makes is substantial.
Fifth, define your goal before you buy anything. Most beginning investors skip this and make decisions that are completely misaligned with what they actually need. Your goal determines your timeline. Your timeline determines how much risk is appropriate. Someone investing for retirement in 30 years can hold mostly equities and ride out market downturns without concern. Someone saving for a house deposit they need in 3 years can't afford significant volatility. A 30% market drop 2 years before you need the money is a real problem. Write down your specific goal, the amount you're targeting, and the date you need it. Everything else flows from that.
Let's run through the 5 things. An emergency fund in place so your investments never get forced sold for short-term needs. High-interest debt cleared so investments aren't being outpaced by interest costs. Basic financial education covering what you're actually buying and why. The right tax-advantaged account open. ISA in the UK, Roth IRA or 401k in the US, TFSA in Canada. And a clear, specific goal with a timeline that sets your risk level. None of these take months. Most people can work through this list in 60 to 90 days. Every single one meaningfully improves the chance your investing journey actually succeeds.
Investing is genuinely one of the most powerful wealth-building tools available to ordinary people. The ability to participate in the long-term growth of global economies through simple, low-cost index funds has created more financial security for more people than almost anything else in financial history. But it only compounds reliably when the foundation underneath it is solid. Get these 5 things right, and you give your investments the conditions they need to actually work. Skip them, and you're building on unstable ground. Subscribe to MoneyPatch for our full investing beginner guide and more plain English money content every week. Small steps, big change.